So my topic's about gossip and how through society words can get morphed into different things and how what we say can hurt people if we get the information wrong. Gossip is a big issue in high schools. For each of my projects I displayed a consequence of gossip. For instance, in this piece I used the records to express how words go in circles and what goes around comes around type of things. The colors on the records represent the different types of conversation. Throughout each piece the saying changes each time. In the end, it gets all messed up. The rumors are completely not true and not from what it started as. I try to repurpose materials throughout the piece. So since I'm using records, I decided to use, these are in the record sleeves, and then actually under here I had the actual record cover. There's definitely things you can take away from this course that'll help you throughout life. Time management's a huge one. Even making the right decisions. I feel it just sets you up, help think through different circumstances and opportunities in life, and just be confident in yourself to know which one to choose. We had a Christmas party and we all went out to Ironwood to eat with Miss Briscoe, and we did a gift exchange. Each person had a very personalized gift. I feel as a group it just brought us all together, even though we're all very different people. It was a good way to bring us together and have a good laugh with each other. And
my project is about mental health, and specifically my mental health and the various stages of it. I have always made art that is about my mental health, and so it was just easier to do a big topic about it, because it was just so I know me best. So some pieces are about me being overwhelmed with work or with friends, or just in general with my own emotions. Stools are a big object of symbolism, and they represent balancing on life and just literal life. That's what those stools are. And then I also have scissors in my pieces that show a change that I want to make. I've learned a lot in here about trying to use things differently than what the purpose was intended for it. So I'm constantly trying to use art supplies in different ways, and that's taught me a lot about other things outside of art. So trying to think of new ways to fix a solution, or different ways of interacting with people.
Originally coming up with the idea, I knew I wanted to do something about perspective, covering different people and how they interact and how a physical appearance affects people's willingness to approach you or how they treat you. And I tried to do complete opposites in each piece that highlighted contrast in perspective, lifestyle, appearance. So I used file folders to portray people's mental groupings of individuals, because the way stereotypes kind of work is it's all about preconceived data of other people. This person looks this way, I know this group acts that way. So you kind of put them in that file cabinet in your head and see them as that even before you even approach them or say hi. Sometimes appearances you don't think twice about the depth of them. I have my own stereotype, and then I sit by 3 other girls who might have their own stereotype. And the interesting thing is we had art together for 4 years and never spoke. We started talking and it's they're not at all what I thought. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of the preconceived thing that prevents you from talking to someone that you might already want to talk to. And I wondered where that stemmed from. Historically, maybe a social group or a religious group or racial, they did something. This one is a little more about society's pressures or misconceptions about age, especially in women. She looks all free and ready to experience life, and she's basically wearing life on her face. I wanted them to kind of overlap too, because everyone goes through it. It kind of redefines how you look, how you're perceived. I like it when Ms. Briscoe just gets kind of snappy. She's cut up my project before, and I stayed up all night doing it, and she just took scissors and cut it in half. And she rearranged it and it looked way better, but I was just stunned a little bit. Everyone, it was during a critique, and all the girls were
So the main topic of this piece is the Northern Lights, and so I incorporated like the light bulbs because it's like how the lights, you see different color lights by the energy and stuff, and I included these flashes because it's flashes of light. And then also this is a solar wind map, and you can't really see it, but this is the Earth, and this is how the solar wind comes around it, which is what forms the Northern Lights. This topic was kind of given to me. I knew I wanted to do something about the Earth because originally I was going to do about like overfishing, but it kind of just fell into my lap. The transfers also have to like the eroded, broken down feel. Instead of just like stark images on it, it creates something new that you normally don't see in other people's projects. The reason why I put them in metal frames is because most people use wood, and I kind of wanted mine to be different and stick out from everybody else's. And also, metal is an element in the earth, and it's kind of just ties in the whole earth feel. My favorite art memory would have to be last year when we were hanging up the art show. We made this huge installation which were these like huge heads, and they were like 6 feet. And I had to go up in the scissor lift with Ms. Briscoe, and she did not know how to drop that thing at all. And so we were like this the whole time. I thought we were gonna die, but we got them up there, and they look good. So it was all good.
My concentration is about mental health, and specifically the different feelings or emotions that I felt during mental health episodes. In these episodes, you feel feelings of worthlessness or like negative things about yourself. This topic has been hard for me to like put together because you can't always put feelings on paper. Since art has been my outlet, I decided to kind of make it like my story. Art has been a way to get all these things out of my brain. This piece is about negative thinking. The subway lines represent different emotions and how different things link together to cause things like negative thinking. So last year, whenever I was going through a lot of episodes, one thing I always kept saying whenever I would have one was, I want to go home. And like I would be sitting at my house crying at my house, and I would say I want to go home. So in each of the pieces they have different types of architecture. It's kind of like a journey of me finding myself. All of these are self-portraits, and with watercolor you have to put on like hundreds of layers. You have to be patient with the process, because if you're not and you paint on the wet watercolor that's already wet, it'll like peel the paper up and make it fuzzy. So it's almost like, in a way, me being patient with myself. Though I'm reminiscing over all these bad memories, it's like closing the capsule of last year. It's almost a way, not forgetting it, but like being thankful that it's over. You learn a lot about everyone in here, really. I like hearing everybody's like stories, like the craziest thing they've done or like just what they do. Based off of people's decision making and how they lay it out or what their focus is, you can figure out a lot about how they think or what they think about. It's kind of different because a lot of our art pieces tie into like hidden stuff that we've never really talked about to anybody else.
I think about, you know, like everyone takes everything for granted, like, you know, there's different people all throughout our world and even in our society here in the United States that like don't have, you know, different things like shelter or like the means to have food and water. Architecture to showcase like wants or things like on the inside that you want. So I showcase that by using interior architecture, and you know, needs are like physical things that you can see, and so I just showcase that by like exterior. I use different vellum and different types of paper to showcase like different symbols that each project represents. So in this piece, this one is about like the want of good relationships. This piece, like I used these, and these were actually like light fixtures in the actual architecture that I used and put different pictures of different relationships that you might have throughout your life. So throughout art, we've had so many memories together. I've definitely enjoyed like meeting new people and just hanging out with different people, you know, like people that I might not have ever hung out with that are actually really cool. Just, you know, going through art and experiencing all the projects and things like that.